Hey there subscribers, it's PC the Unicorn. With it being spooky season, it only seemed appropriate to talk about the newest Disney animated series, The Ghost and Molly Mcgee. The show follows the adventure of optimistic and helpful teenager Molly Mcgee, who ends up being coached by a pessimistic and grumpy ghost named Scratch after Molly and her family moves into the abandoned house he lives in. Though due to poor wording on his part, Scratch is now bounded to Molly before seeing him as her new best friend, much to his annoyance. While initially premiering on TV, the first 5 episodes were uploaded to Disney Plus the following week, which allowed me to get a better feel of the show overall. Now the biggest thing that makes the show stand out for me is the art style. Not only does it stand out from the Disney animated series we've gotten in the past few years, but it's also very reminiscent of shows from the 2000s such as The Replacements and Juniper Lee. Both due to its use of colors and how it's a combination of an angular and round art style. The art style especially shines in the animation since it allows the characters to move very fluidly and is able to make Scratch look legit terrifying. Speaking of Scratch, he is easily the best thing about the entire show. Whenever I found myself laughing, most of the laughs came from Scratch due to his sarcastic, blunt, and I don't care attitude, along with how he takes joy in causing chaos and being rude to people. Though what makes him even more entertaining is how he's a total tsundere who clearly wants companionship. Yet while Scratch may be the most entertaining character of the show, that's partly due to him bouncing off of the lead of the show, Molly. Molly's wide-eyed idealism and optimistic nature is the perfect sounding board for Scratch, which results in a very entertaining dynamic since Scratch is just completely baffled by how upbeat Molly can be. Yet despite her kind and helpful nature, Molly isn't completely naive or a saint. She can get frustrated, be snarky, selfish, have her moments of doubt, and isn't above getting payback on someone who deserves it. They even have it in which Molly is aware that she can be too friendly and over-ego, something that a lot of characters of her archetype aren't typically aware of. Because of this, it makes the pessimistic and optimistic dynamic we often see a lot in media a bit more unique. The rest of Molly's family are pretty entertaining, and I find it neat how they all know about Scratch and don't mind him being involved in their lives. This opens up the door for more dynamics since we just won't be seeing Scratch bounce off of Molly. Rounding out the cast is Libby, Molly's introverted best friend who is surprisingly into horror, and Andrea, the designated spoiled rich mean girl of the series. Unsurprisingly, people are already expecting some kind of redemption arc involving her because of the same happening to Pacifica and Amity, but I hope that won't be the case. I like a good redemption arc as much as the next person, but while it is important to show that there are layers to people, with there being a reason why someone acts awful, it's also nice to just have a villain you love to hate, which Andrea fulfills the role perfectly. Like if they do decide to make Andrea sympathetic in some way, I think it would be a nice change of pace if, despite that sympathetic aspect of her character, she decides to not change her ways. Moving on to the lore of the show, I'm really curious to learn more about ghosts in this series since I have several questions about them. Why are ghosts assigned to cause misery? Why is there a ghost council? What rules do ghosts have to follow? Are all the ghosts assigned to scare people? And how did Scratch become a ghost? These questions will most likely be answered within the show itself, so I'm looking forward to that. Though while the first episode makes it clear that there will be an overarching storyline in the form of Brighton becoming a less gloomy place which will no doubt spell trouble for Scratch, the series seems like it'll be akin to Big City Dreams. In the sense that, while there may be an ongoing storyline, it will still primarily be an episodic series overall instead of becoming a serialized series. Now, for as enjoyable as the show has been so far, I do have a few minor gripes with it. First of all, Molly and Squatch's relationship progresses way too fast. Like, obviously Squatch is going to warm up to Molly, but in the first episode alone, we go from Squatch wanting Molly and her family to move out to him helping Molly out at school. The first episode definitely should have been a full half hour instead of split into two 11-minute segments. By doing the former, there would be more time to explore what causes Squatch to warm up to Molly and decide to let her and her family stay, beside Molly's grandmother telling her to set up a little spirit house in order to honor him. Additionally, this would prevent Molly's family from being okay with living in a haunted house to feel far less rushed, since Molly was able to convince them to stay way too easily. The show is also a musical, and while the theme song is a total bop, the songs within the show are a bit of a mixed bag. It's not so much that they're bad, and there are some good ones, but most aren't very memorable, which I feel is an important aspect if you're going to be a musical series. Like, I don't find myself constantly going back and listening to a song 50 times like I do with Steven Universe and My Little Pony. But maybe later songs will be more memorable. Apart from those small gripes though, the Ghost and Molly Mcgee is already a solid addition to Disney Channel animation lineup that I'm excited to see more of. If you have seen the Ghost and Molly Mcgee, what do you think of the show so far? Have a favorite episode from the series yet? For me, it's definitely Hooray for Mollywood. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you'll be notified when I make a new video. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find the links to them in the description box below. Until next time, this is PC logging off.